Hey everyone, welcome to Dev Vlog 3. Let's jump right into it and show the differences between last time. So, most obvious thing is we have a new UI, art assets. So here's the Forge UI, and here's the Forge Details UI, and here's the Vicinity UI. Basically the same layout, but with some prettier looking panels and whatnot. There's still some work to do on this UI, namely changing these highlight states here and getting more buttons as well as checkboxes. Alright, so let's move on to the bulk of the content here. So we added a bunch of new items this time around, and I'll go ahead and show you those now. So here's our chainmail legendary affixes. We have pull, which will allow you to reactivate the ability to pull enemies towards you. And we have projectile, where killing chained enemies shoots spikes in 4 directions that each deal 1.4 damage. So let's go ahead and equip that guy, and we'll go into the game here, into the dungeon, and we'll go ahead and check this out. So I'll put that down, and then I can pull these enemies towards me, just like that. So let's do it again. Okay, and now if I were to kill these guys, you should have seen those spikes fly out. Let me do it again. There's some more spikes. It's a little bit difficult to see, but those spikes will pierce enemies and deal damage. Okay, so the next item that we have is the plate helm. The plate helm creates a ripple on the ground that will stun and damage enemies. So let me show you that. So if I press my helm key, there we go. Damages and stuns enemies in a ripple wave, okay? Now the legendary affixes for this are ride, which allows you to ride the ripple wave, and long, which increases the range of the wave. So let's take a look at that. So if I press Q now, I follow the wave, and I can use all of my other abilities while I'm doing so. So let me go into the game and show you. So I can use my basic attacks, I can use other abilities while I'm going. The only things that will break me out of the wave would be like a dash of some sort. So if I go like this and I use my greatsword, I am breaking out of the wave. So this is a really nice, just kind of like a gap closer. Also it does a lot of damage. You can stun enemies, you can hit them while you're stunning them, things like that. Okay, and the final item that we implemented was the leather armor. So the leather armor will create whirling rocks that deal damage per second and knock back enemies. So let's go ahead and equip that guy. So if I were to press my spacebar now, so this enemy is taking a certain amount of damage over time and is getting knocked back. Okay, so now let's take a look at the affixes. Rock. This one will spawn rock pillars that deal 1.4 damage and knock back enemies. And slow. Enemies within a large radius are slowed. So let's equip that guy. And now if I were to press my spacebar now, you'll notice that this guy's going a lot slower now. And you can see that these rock pillars are spawning up. Okay, so let's go to the game and I'll show you what those rock pillars will do to enemies. So it just killed that guy. It killed that guy too. The placement of them is random, so let me go and get a bigger group of enemies. So they killed those guys. Yeah, so see how those goblins got knocked back? There's another knockback. So it'll pop up, it'll knock enemies back and then stun them. It also does damage, of course. So this is useful if you're getting together lots of groups of enemies, and there's always enemies on top of you. It's just a nice way to kind of break apart those groups of enemies to give you a little bit more breathing room. Okay, and then of course you still have the whirling rock thing, which you can use to push enemies away. Let me get a better, there we go. So I can push enemies away like that. And the interesting thing is when you have the slow on here, they will get pushed away slower until the effect ends, and then they will be shot out. So that gives you time to beat on them, I guess, while they're in a incapacitated state. Okay, so let's take a look at the Trello board and see what else we got done this time around. So we did some minor refactoring with some old functionality. I'm not going to go too in-depth into that because it's kind of technical, but that did take some time. We spent some time doing some bug fixes related to the crown and also related to the statuses. This bug fix took a long time, which is probably why this time around is pretty light on content, but we got that fixed, and so we should be good to go for the future. And of course, we got all of our assets done. Okay, so let's take a look at the backlog then and see what we're kind of planning to do for the next 2 weeks. So we have some optimization stuff that we can do. Investigate threading for scene instancing, investigate threading for pathfinding. I believe there's some upcoming changes to Godot that will allow this investigate threading for scene instancing to be easier, because right now instancing scenes is not thread safe. I believe it's going to be though in the near future, so we'll keep these on the backlog. We have loot drop color effects, so we want to change the color of the loot effect that happens based on its rarity. So white will be common, yellow will be rare, and purple will be legendary. And with the purple, with the legendary effect, we'll also create a beam going to the sky, similar to like a Diablo 3 kind of deal. Okay, and then we're probably going to be spending time doing dungeon generation work. This is probably going to take the bulk of the time. Basically, we're going to be using a different strategy to generate the dungeons, which should allow me to add new features much easier to it. So things like dynamic events, not dynamic, random events, treasure rooms, you know, things like that. Okay, and then we just have some polished stuff. We want to modify the particle effects for the Lich and the Priest. We want to improve the Goblin AI. I want to make those guys more difficult, because right now it's very rare that they would actually hit you. We still have some legendary affixes to add to one item, the Spartan Helm, which was in the game before I made this list here. So we're going to just add that. It shouldn't be too difficult. And then we have some new art assets that I need to get implemented into the game. I need to order them and get them implemented. And yeah, so that's kind of, we'll pick and choose from here for the next 2 weeks. Like I said though, I think the focus is going to be on the rework of the dungeon generation, and then probably doing some minor polish and a balance pass to get it in a state where it feels good to play. Okay, that's it for Devlog 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in following the progress of the game, you can check out the Twitch channel. I stream. Well, I'm not going to say the schedule, but you can check it out on the Twitch page. And then we also have a Reddit and a Discord if you want to join up with those. And of course, there's the website, www.tenaciousgame.com, so you can check that out too. Alright, thanks for checking out Tenacious, guys, and I'll see you on the stream and in the next Devlog.